So how jam-packed can you make a 10-gallon? Well, in this video, I'm going to cover just that. Coming up. So a lot of you guys know that I'm buying a house. So I'm going to compare buying a fish tank to buying a house. Now when I'm buying a house, I gotta see how many rooms does the house have? Is my family gonna have enough space? What do your family members need? What do your fish need? Well, every fish has different needs when it comes to like physical shelter or hiding spaces or open swimming space, things like that. So when it comes to guppies, they do like to swim around a lot. So you need to make sure they have a little bit of room. That's why I don't recommend a 5-gallon tank. 10 gallons is my bare minimum. I know you used to hear the inch per gallon rule, for every inch of fish you need at least a gallon of water. I think that theory has pretty much been squashed by now, so I'm just gonna mention it. Don't follow that rule. So how many fish do you wanna have? When it comes to me, I think, how often do you wanna do water changes? And can that fish actually swim around and be comfortable, not can it just physically fit into the tank? So basically you need to think, I like to do water changes once a week, so I'm not gonna get as many fish to where it's gonna go over that. So like you could fit 7 to 10 physically or more, but you're gonna be doing water changes a couple times a week, and if you have like 12 or 15, you're probably gonna do it more. So my original plan was to have 5 guppies in my aquarium, and obviously the one jumped out. If you want to know all about that, I have a video. It's like, why did my guppy fish die or something like that. I'll put a card somewhere. But besides overcrowding, the next thing that you need to worry about, and it's totally within your control as well, is overfeeding. A lot of new people who tend to get the 10-gallon tanks like to also watch their fish eat. After all, that is like the one interaction you can have, So you want to be careful not to overfeed your fish. The reason I really stress don't overstock your 10-gallon, don't overfeed your 10-gallon is one, a lot of newbies make that mistake. And then on top of that, 10 gallons of water is not a lot to work with. I know it might seem big when you're brand new to aquariums, but it's actually really small. So because of that, if you are doing something to foul your water, meaning overstocking or overfeeding or whatever it is, say a fish dies in your tank, then that means there's a lot less time for something to happen where you might go to work, a fish dies and it'll pollute your whole tank, and then it's like an ammonia bomb in your tank. So I would just keep that in mind when it comes to, taking care of a 10-gallon. Be ready to take care of it more frequently, but it will require less work more frequently, if that makes sense. That being said, plants can add another layer of security to your 10-gallon. A lot of times you get the advice, get as big of a tank as you possibly can or can afford or have room for. But when it comes to planted aquariums, I actually think 10 gallons is the perfect starter aquarium because, it's just a whole lot less work when it comes to keep caring for plants and fish. So filters break down ammonia into nitrite, and then they break down the nitrite down into nitrate, and it's actually the bacteria within your filter, if you didn't know that already. I have cycling videos and things that go over the whole process, so I'm not going to go too in depth in this video. Also, after that, the plants can then take out the nitrates and they use that as nutrients, as like fertilizer. So it's very easy to have a nice healthy aquarium if your filter and your plants can keep up with the bioload of your fish, meaning don't overstock your fish so that they don't poop and pee too much. So if you're wondering on a decent plant light, then I'll put mine in the description below. It's the Aqueon plant light. They sell it in a different form too, where it has less LEDs. But if you're interested in that, make sure you get the plant one. Now that things are like really getting ready to be finished with the house, like we should be moving into the house after like the next week or so. And once we get into the house and I get my fish room going, I'm gonna definitely be doing some plants, and I want to do a lot of videos on plants. I probably won't have too many plant aquariums just because it's a lot of work, you know. I don't like to keep up with all that. And yeah, I just want to always be doing like experiments. I have had success with plants in the past, but I definitely don't consider myself an expert. But I do think it's fun to show these kinds of things, and a lot of people are interested in them. So I'm going to be doing some of the easier plants and you know, doing some LED light reviews on them, so watch out for that. Another advantage to having like a 10-gallon tank is they do sell a lot of the 10-gallon tank like kits out there that come with everything you need. And those, I don't know how good of a deal they are, but if you don't know what you're doing, it will definitely get you started. So maybe look for one of those if you're like brand new. And like for me, when I got my first 10-gallon way back in the day, it was like, I got it for free. It was used, you know. I thought it was gonna be leaking or something, but it wasn't even leaking. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get into fish tanks with a 10-gallon. So I definitely recommend it. One of my favorite sizes in all of the aquariums. You know, a lot of times people just want to see big tanks, but having a small tank is like, it's a breath of fresh air when you're always looking for that big monster tank. So what do you guys think of guppies in a 10-gallon tank? I'm all for it. I think it's awesome. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Also, thanks for watching, and if you're new to this channel, I do a lot of tips videos on fish and like product reviews. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.